Welcome to Mann's Model Moments, and my D&D 5th edition campaign of Autumn's Harvest. This is the semi-sandbox game, set a decade after the famed heroes of Waterdeep prevented Tiamat rising, ensuring chromatic dragons did not lay waste the whole of Faerun. These events were the Tyranny of Dragons campaign I ran in my real-life game before COVID set in. Now, the Sword Coast looks almost as though nothing had ever happened. True, Waterdeep and Neverwinter are still being rebuilt in the north, and across the land are marks of the great battles that were fought between dragons and men, which still scar the land, but by and large, life has returned to normal. Of course, there are still evil wizards and the machinations of warring tribes of orcs, goblins, men, giants and the like, even the odd dragon, but then that is as it always was. But, in the calm of normality, the humdrum of familiarity, the absorbing minutiae of the everyday, something slips by in the shadows. All things have a beginning, and most are not started with fire and fury, behind the scenes, hidden and furtive, small and secretive. But who looks for the first falling leaf in the new life of spring? Who watches for the winter wolves at harvest time? Who is looking for portents and omens of doom whilst trade and business is booming? But everything that has a beginning also has an end. As the nights lengthen further and winter approaches, a small band of adventurers try to uncover a darkness that is seeping through the land, a corruption that appears to be rotting away that before from within. Seeking the origin of this has been trying, and strange creatures flit by in the waters they disturb, scuttling from their prying eyes. But the further they probe, the worse things appear. Just how far has this canker spread? And what can they do to stop it? Our campaign is 5th edition D&D, but we do run a number of variant rules. The ones you'll mainly notice are slow natural healing, where short rests take 10 minutes, are restricted to 2 per long rest, and require healer's kit charges to use hit dice. Long rests are a normal 8 hours. They do not require healer's kits to spend hit dice, but hit point recovery is only by spending hit dice and magical healing, of course. There is no automatic jump back to full health. We also use harder magic item identification, so identify as a spell is required to learn of a magical item's abilities, and some, like artifacts, may require even more investigation. We also use training for levels, so level progression is not automatic in Autumn's Harvest. You need to train to put the experience that you've gained into practice within your class, and the time and methodology this takes vary depending on level, on class, ability, and circumstances. We also use critical hit and miss effects, so we use tables for both critical hits and critical fails in combat. This includes NPCs and also for monsters, so it is both way, so it is balanced in the fact that everybody has the chance to win big or go home crying. Inspiration. We use a card-based inspiration system which has 3 levels, with inspiration being earned by writing character journals. These will be included in the episode notes of each video. 1 episode in arrears, that's just to avoid spoilers. And inspiration cards allow everything from re-rolling a d20 up to automatic crits and healing as shown on the card on the screen. The original idea for these cards is not my own. I have to give props to my former DM, Venter, for the originals of these, although these are slightly modified. We also use a variant rule where every time a character drops to 0 hit points, they gain a level of exhaustion. Being brought to the brink of death is harrowing and takes its toll on your body and mind. You'll sometimes hear me call one or more players into the Den of Secrets. This is a private Discord chat for any content that is just for the players involved, so you won't hear those discussions unless they're for John's character. We play our games weekly via Roll20 for a 4-hour session, or 4.5 hours, but we usually spend half an hour chatting about other things. These videos are then distilled from recordings made by one of the players, John, and were originally conceived to be catch-up material for players that miss sessions or for note-taking. We never set out with the intent of putting them on YouTube, so with that in mind, please forgive any quality issues. We just thought that people might enjoy them now that I have a YouTube channel up and running. So far in the campaign, our adventurers have uncovered a slave ring that turned out to be a huge Zhentarim-backed network across the whole of Faerun, including help and association from a group of mind flayers through a half-elf known as Kalashar. In addition, a cult of disease and decay associated with a seemingly new god named Talander is spreading across the land, with a corrupt druid named Belak being involved in its workings. Portals to the elemental plane of water are also slowly drowning the world, and aboleths seem to have some involvement in this. Hounded and hunted by Kalashar and his powerful contacts in Neverwinter, the group travelled to Lurien, where they successfully disrupted one of the slaver operations and closed the first of 4 portals they are currently aware of. Travelling north from Lurien across the wastelands of Rashemen, they are taking some time in the remote town of Multan to train before moving onwards. Now, let's turn our eye towards the brave adventurers that are looking to dismantle the Zhentarim slave network, uncover Talander's schemes for the world, and close the portals to the elemental plane of water that are slowly drowning Faerun. Azurian, played by Tom, is a young half-elf scarred by the death of his father and disappearance of his mother during a raid on his home whilst he was away hunting in the woods. Seeking vengeance, Azurian was taken in by the Ashmade in Neverwinter and trained in the ways of conquest through might in Asmodeus' name. Strong, confident and increasingly callous, Azurian walks a fine line between saving the world from demonic incursion and bring it to heel under his own boot. Known simply as the Wanderer, or Harbard in his native tongue, the party's main healer and voice of wisdom is a towering, softly spoken furball. One of the original members to sense the growing taint of Talander in the land, the giant kin follower of Sylvanus has pledged to rid Faerun of the growing blight and corruption that this new god, or goddess, is bringing upon nature. Bartimaeus Salapraktin, or Barty to his friends, is a young and somewhat naive dragonborn, raised by a rough-speaking blacksmith dwarf in the aftermath of the defeat of the Cult of the Dragon by the legendary Backbiters. His mottled copper, bronze and gold scales, height and mass give him a fearsome visage to the uninitiated, but he loves his food, his friends and forging as much as a good fight. Thea Starflower met the party during the capture of their former rogue Ingrid by the slave network mastermind Kalashar and his cronies in Neverwinter. Beautiful, kind and gifted, Tia bonded with the group quickly and pledged to aid their cause of dismantling the slave network and investigating the growing cult of decay that is rising across the land. Following the College of Law, she is always composing, taking notes, and drawing maps of the party's travels and adventures. Bruin Strongmash joined the group when his mission to turn the addictive qualities of Lurien cheese into an alcoholic beverage ended in the demise of his expedition. His martial talents, fueled by copious quantities of whatever drink he can lay his hands on, have helped bring the group to where they are today, though his less than inspiring and riveting tales and small talk drive Azurian and some of the others to distraction. Minervan Kess, long-time gambler and charlatan, found the group as a convenient way to escape some debts and their overly enthusiastic collectors, despite the fact that all this walking around the wasteland does nothing for his bunions. Smarter than everyone else around him, Minervan is often frustrated by the seemingly incomprehensible decisions the party makes. If only they'd listen to him more. I, of course, am Alex Mann, the Dungeon Master of Autumn's Harvest, and the one who gets to set up the world these great players get to explore and experience. I try to be as fair and accommodating as possible, but we also don't do retcons or takebacks in general. It keeps the game moving and creates more interesting moments when the players have to deal with their own problems, as well as the ones that I throw in their path. After all, this is a role-playing game, not a video game. So, who is leading the expedition?
How about with my help?
I believe it's probably up there as well.
Isn't he leading us?
I mean, Leonid basically is just saying, we just follow the golden way at the moment.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'll lead.
So if you want to, you can make that roll at advantage.
Nice.
There you go.
Excellent. So, you know this way pretty well. And the first day is pretty well travelled. You're a good way from the Citadel, so you've got no issue there. About midday, you notice, so Leonid will probably be walking with Minervan. You notice Leonid's appearance. Once, again, you are far away from Mulptown itself. His appearance changes, and his features age a little bit. His form becomes a little thinner, noticeably more elven and more wizardy. So the kind of nondescript traveller with the leathers and kind of somebody who would fit in Rashemen a little bit sort of makes way to this very obvious spellcaster. He looks at Minerva and says, that's a little more comfortable.
Sort of blink my eyes at him. Did you change clothes?
It's, well, I'm sure you're aware of the simple allusion to disguise one's form.
Oh, yes.
Rashemen is not a place to be a wizard.
Of course. I was feeling a bit antsy myself, but you could have told me.
Well, I'm telling you now.
I suppose better late than never. As with all things, I turn and give the evil eye to the party.
When I see Minervan looking, I wave cheerily at him.
And once he's changed, he kind of turns to the rest of you, gives you a little half bow, and says, my name is Leonid, wizard and purveyor of lore. Apologies for the slight subterfuge, but the people of Rashemen are very wary of wizards. They've had pretty bad relationships with Thay. For obvious reasons, Thay has been fairly aggressive in the past. So arcane magics are best kept under wraps, even though, ironically, I've used arcane magic to deceive them in this way, but it's for the best.
But you still play the harp, do you not?
He looks at you slightly. The harp?
Yes, you are one that harps.
Oh, I see. Yes.
We're like
I get a twitch in my eye, specifically in his direction.
And he looks at you and says, "Oh yes, well I've been a player of the harp for many years. I'm let's say a retired aficionado, I guess. You never lose the ability. One might not be actively playing all of the time, as it were, but yes, of course."
Good to know. I might have
any of your accompaniment also fellow musicians of my persuasion?
Oh no, completely tone deaf, all of them, except for Tia, maybe.
I see. Well, if any of them would consider playing the harp in future, well, I think I could possibly arrange that for, well, at least the majority of you. He kind of gives a bit of a sideways look at Azurian.
Some of them might be able to learn the harp. Some not so much.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've made good progress. I suggest we carry on. Now, you say you've already been to the Citadel Rashemen?
Oh, yes, we found it very heavily fortified.
Yes, I suggest in a day's time we actually skirt off the Golden Way and cut through the wastelands. It has its own risks, but we wouldn't want to be captured and taken to the Citadel. It would be an unfortunate detour, I feel.
Naturally.
He looks at the rest of you kind of expectantly. Not very talkative, are they?
Well, what?
Someone talking.
I don't know magic.
No talking.
Sometimes I feel like I am the most lucid among them.
Huh?
And at that moment, you see Bruin sprint and jump and land on Barty's shoulders. Maybe.
I thought they were trying to kill us. If I would have known, they would have taken us prisoner. I mean, that's an easy way in there.
Yes, well, not all of us fight with tooth and nail.
You get used to it.
So, have you all been adventuring a long time? You seem an interesting group.
Quite a while.
Good amount of time.
Yes. What's a long time for you? You live a long time.
Yeah, what are you, like 400?
Oh,
Bruin,
I like
please,
you.
some manners.
Oh, sorry, 300.
No, it's quite all right. I remember being 400. It was a wonderful time. No, it's very flattering, little one. Your name, Halfling?
I'm Bruin. Bruin Strong
Bruin.
Mash.
Yes. No, I'm a little older than 400, but yes, a long time adventuring and a long time are two different things. Many adventurers don't make it beyond the local pie shop before being murdered. But yes, you seem like you've been doing it a little more than that, even if some of your decisions are a little unwise, hasty, perhaps.
Unorthodox, I believe, is the word you're looking for.
Whenever he says these things, he tends to be looking at Azurian.
Throwing shade.
It's usually best to find out where one is and the customs before one starts to try to assert oneself, especially through magical means, I find. And although he's talking to you, Minervan, you can tell the conversation is very much directed at Azurian.
He's just riding along on his magical horse, you know.
Duty gives him a really sour look.
Hearing all but saying nothing.
But Duty really says please.
I like being tall. It's nice riding on your shoulders, Barty.
Barty's doing Duty, just head down, follow through.
So while Bruin's up there, I tell Bruin, while you're up there, you might as well keep an eye out. I don't mind you being up there.
Okay.
But, yeah, just look about. Make sure like we don't get shot by arrows and stuff like every other time.
Ooh, I'll think I'm a pirate and I'm in the crow's nest.
Bruin, do you speak Draconic?
No.
Okay, Barty, Den of Secrets, please.
Okay.
Bruin has many talents. Languages aren't one of them.
Ask the ring to make you taller.
I'm king of the world. I wonder what he's hearing in Draconic. Oh, it's probably the ring. That's right.
Probably.
The ring wants back.
It's like this. He's like, I made a terrible mistake. Take me back, Barty.
So, give me a quick perception check, Bruin.
Oh, gotcha. I'm on fire tonight.
Yeah, you can hear this. It's like a whispering in a tongue that you don't recognize, and then you realize that Barty is speaking, but you don't seem to see anybody that he's speaking to, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome." Occasionally in Common, and then the rest of it is interspersed in Draconic, kind of this pigeon kind of conversation going on between Barty and nothing.
I just shrug, continue enjoying my time as a pirate.
You hear Barty grunt from time to time when like you remember it as like nope, don't quite get why you're saying that, but you said it. There it is.
All right, and with your familiarity with the Golden Way and Harbord's guidance, you managed to avoid any particular pitfalls through the first day. Make your camp for the night. Are you doing a hole or a dome?
Oh, can I try something?
Sure.
New trick?
I'll try making my little stone hut.
All right. Let's get rid of all this debris.
So that we can make more.
You can make different crap.
We're going to make different colored debris this time.
Well, this is different. It builds rather than destroys. It's much better.
Oh my god, could we do Tia's dome over this, or vice versa? Double dome?
Maybe make an igloo.
Double dome. No
Fits
one.
around the
globe?
Hut.
Yes, snow globe.
So that's the general layout I was thinking of, Alex. The red thing is the door, or the doorway.
What are the dimensions of that?
It's 20 by 20.
20 by 20, okay.
What?
It's a-
What? What?
You're just building up little keeps all over the goddamn countryside.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Ah, so that's how Stonehenge made it.
I think you get 10 by 10, right?
Or you can use a 10 by 20, but it's half as thick.
So are you doing half as thick?
I'm doing some. You can use either, can't you? Hold up, I'll link the spell. There we go.
Okay, so yeah, you can make that. So most of these walls are going to be the thinner.
Yeah, the only thick ones are the 2 on the top and the 2 on the bottom, and then that cross in the middle. Those are the only 10-foot long ones. The others are the 20-foot long ones.
It's only an action to cast this, I think, as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh damn! So it just happens quick.
Ooh, that's not right.
Yeah, it builds itself up over 6 seconds.
Holy crap! That's amazing. Barty, look at this.
Huh?
Sometimes I wish
So
I
you
knew
see-
magic.
I want some magic stuff.
How about starts to cast this spell, and sort of from the stone itself on the ground, these pieces start to kind of assemble themselves.
I swear druids exist just to piss off DMs.
Now summon woodland critters. Woodland creatures,
No.
summon them. Dozens.
Yeah. Never again.
Oh, we've got fae and woodland creatures. Yeah. So Harbard makes this structure. It's got a stone roof as well. It's a box, 10 feet high, 20 feet on a side. You go inside, it's got some sort of like cross bracing on the internal piece.
Pretty impressive.
This is nice.
He pats him on the shoulder.
How long did this take, Harbard?
You'd fit a whole family in here.
It was like 6 seconds to pull up.
Holy fuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
How
idea
long
came
does
to
it
me
take?
when I wasted a bunch of time digging that hole. I was like, why would I destroy the earth when I can just add to it?
Good point.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really hard to do. It takes a lot of resource out of me, but I mean, it's kind of worth it. And this thing becomes permanent if I hold on to it long enough.
How long do you have to hold on to it?
About 10 minutes. About the same time as the ritual takes to make the bubble.
So wait. So you just have to focus on this thing for the next 10 minutes while we're talking, and it'll be permanently here, and not like it gets broken?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So you're basically making like a bunch of those huts you get in forests and stuff.
Yeah.
You could
I
like
guess
make multiples of these over days and like build a house. I'm gonna have you build me a house one day, Harbard. A keep.
Tia could use the hut to make like a doorway as well, you know?
Would that attract those goblins?
Sure, but I would have to stay in the doorway then.
No, you would have to stand within the dome. You wouldn't have to be, in the doorway.
Oh, that's what we
I
should
was
have
also
got.
thinking you can use these middle bits as cover if we get attacked in the night.
Does anyone have caltrops?
I mean, I still wouldn't mind if Tia put up like the dome somewhere here.
Hey Leo, do we have to worry
Yeah,
about
Sure, can
about goblins here?
Mhm.
Leonid, he's the guide. He should know.
Leon is kind of watching this and says, I don't think the patrols from the Citadel don't usually come this far. They don't really interfere too much. They know that if they harass the Golden Way too much, then they'll attract more attention. They extract tolls off travellers under threat of violence. But they don't really come towards Rashemen itself. They know there are too many hunters here. They don't want to be caught by the Rashemen. The Rashemen will kill them. So I think we're fairly safe, especially in this fine structure you've built there, Harbard. It's very good.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, this is how a lot of arcane casters create their various living spaces.
I
I
think
had a friend once who built a tower in exactly the same way.
I think Assyrian's right, Tia. You should do your bubble. It's just an added layer of
Will
protection.
do so.
It's the stone reinforced trouble bubble. Now duty's
Oh,
even
God.
now duty's even further on the outside.
That's so cool. 3D printing a barracks.
Yeah, so Barty's immediately thinking about how Harbard can build, like just essentially make a forge and crucible for Barty to use wherever, whenever.
Uh-oh.
Boom.
Watches?
Watches.
There it is again.
Oh,
Tyr is casting the...
Does Leonid take a watch?
No, he's going to go to sleep.
He took
I mean,
76 gold.
It's Leonid's tiny hut after all.
Almost.
Do you know, I actually started typing in the spell just to have a look at a couple of things, and I started casting in Leonid's tiny. It would be constrained by the walls of the structure. Oops. So it's actually going to be smaller than normal.
Okay.
we're just using it as a doorway.
Yeah, see, it blocks the doorway, so yeah. Smart. Does what you built have a roof, Harbard?
It does. Yeah. That's really why this cross in the middle is there, for the roof.
Oh, got it.
It's also like sections off the middle, if you want some privacy.
Yeah, you kind
Sit
of
in the
got
corner.
4 little sub-rooms almost.
And it's cover if we get caught in the night.
All right, so give me a D100 roll.
Nice and roomy.
Those of you within the dome, it's nice and cozy. Outside the dome, it does get chilly. So if you've got bedrolls and things, you're fine.
I'll stay in the dome here.
Yeah, Leonid will probably actually get in the dome. Barty, are you in the dome?
Yeah. Super safe. I can't remember. Is the dome environmentally controlled as well, like climate control?
Yep, it is.
Yep. It got an AC system.
But it's got one setting, comfortable.
Yeah.
Nice enough,
And
Yeah.
from the outside, I would color it like the stone, so it actually blends with the walls that Harbard erected.
Sure.
Oop, and I'll take one of my fire wine beers off. No, we're on the road. Rations.
Don't forget to eat those really old rations. Why are they still in the bag? You never know. We'll find a use for them.
Those aren't old rations. No, those are new.
No, we still got the really old ones.
I think, Barty could try those first. He has a bit of an iron stomach.
Your first night out goes by without any incident, and you leave a nice little stone hut in the just off the way.
Beautiful. Very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Anyone looking for us will just follow the stone huts one day apart.
And
We're
they'll
planning
have
on
a
doing
nice place for the rest
everything.
as well.
Because it's a nice rest stop for other people to get trapped in.
Exactly.
How many miles can we travel in a day, generally?
It's usually about 30.
So, yeah, if nothing happens, then in the morning I'll just do the same again.
Second verse, same as the first.
So give me your survival check for the second day.
Harbard with advantage.
All right. And give me a D100 roll.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Want to re-roll that?
no.
Don't you
Oh,
dare.
You can't re-roll D100.
Yeah, we can't. It's only D20s.
Okay.
Or,
Give me a D8 roll, please.
D8.
Please.
Yeah.
Could have been 8.
But did we want high or did we want low?
We were going to get either this or 8. It was a 50-50 chance.
It's true. I'll roll a D8 right now.
Everything's
If
50.
you want to put your marching order just in the middle of the map there.
Oh, like move our characters out, you mean?
So, I'm guessing Harbard is leading.
Yeah.
Just
You evil.
Which way do you want us to be pointing so we know how to arrange ourselves?
So you're coming from the top left down to the bottom right, so you're travelling between northwest to southeast. Yep.
Okay. Usually I'm going to be... So we're heading This way, guys.
Yeah.
Barty wandering away. I saw look, shiny rock.
So let's put you all.
Barty says that.
Wow. Leonid will be walking with Minervan towards the back there. So, as you are trekking through, it's a little before midday, and you see the familiar shape of a tent pitched in the middle of the wasteland here, just off the Golden Way, which is not such an unusual thing. You know, travellers would be coming along this way, but maybe this is a little close to the Citadel. Maybe a day and a half from there.
Are these skulls?
Maybe. You're a little far to see at the moment.
Harbard and Assyrian a glance.
Make yourself scarce, Minervan. I'm gonna hide.
But why would I need to hide? It's just a tent.
You should always be wary.
I think
tents?
that's I think that's the eye's tent.
Oh, right.
Oh, this didn't work
Or
last
at least
time.
whoever's pretending to be the eye.
Give me a perception check, everybody. Oh, wow. Now you roll good.
Shut up.
You can all see this thread looks like it's made of, well, canvas that's seen better days. You see the stitching is a little bit frayed. It's got a couple of rips which have been repaired in it. It doesn't look much like the tent either you saw the eye in originally or since, or the most recent one.
So it has nothing in common with it other than that it's a tent.
Yes. But I rolled low, so I have an excuse.
Before I...
Whatever is in there is probably not the eye.
Let's see. Tia, Barty, Ruin, give me an insight check as well, please.
Fuck.
It's so good at it.
It's just a giant mimic, you know.
So Leonid looks at you, as you all various talking about these things. He looks at you, Minerva, and says, "Oh, so you know the person with this tent?"
Not really. I've met them once before, but they said they're a celestial, but I don't know.
Think this is the same tent, though.
Well, right. It might not be, but I suppose someone mentioned it. The eye is a celestial. That's all I really know, but these lot seem to know more.
Leonid casts a quick spell and says, "Well, it's certainly magical."
All right. Everyone, just be ready, and I'll start to slowly sit.
We could just leave.
No, I'm going in.
Maybe dispel the magic?
I guess we'll say hi. I'll give them some food if they want it.
As you get close, he says, appears to be some sort of conjuration magic.
Oh my god.
Hello? Hello?
I'm doing the divine sense thing as well.
Knock knock? Or, slap? Swish? Swish?
Do you want it in Den of Secrets, Azurian, or are you going to tell everyone?
I'm probably going to tell everyone, depending on what you say.
Den of Secrets, then.
See, I'm glad I'm stealthing. I knew this was bad news.
What's stealth?
We'll be fine.
Stealth is what I do as much as I can before going into any combat.
Well, then do that.
I did. I rolled an 18, which isn't that great.
Yeah, we should be a bit careful about this one, I think.
You hear a voice come from inside, Barty, as you inquire at the start here. It says, "Yes, sir. Come in."
Okay.
They
So
seem
he shakes
nice.
his head.
Okay, is anybody else following Barty? Or Barty, let me... Oops.
I'm just going to wait for a few moments before I decide so I can hear the lamentations of women.
Bruin will not go into the death tent.
Well, I'm going with you, buddy.
I'm staying with Leonid.
Buddy and me.
Barty and Harbard, Den of Secrets, please.
You are now vampires, and the DM takes control of your character.
Or mind controlled by a mind flayer.
There you go. The possibilities are endless.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Let's see if Thea survives the next year.
The next year.
It's never good when it takes a long time.
It could be, but Yeah, generally no.
It's never.
Sometimes it's good.
No. Usually it's not.
There are exceptions.
Not very many.
That's true.
Like how we're just like fanned out, ready to strike. You know?
Mm-hmm. We know what to do. We don't need to work it out in advance. We're well honed.
I always have a counterspell ready.
I always have my fists ready.
Of course, the Trouble Bubble and Dimension Door and Polymorph.
Bards get an interesting spell list.
Quite
Yeah, they're very utility based, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Blast.
Is that your only attack cantrip?
Yeah.
Are you at 2 or are you at 3 beams now?
What level are you? No, you get 3 beams at level 11. So
Yeah, then I have 2 beams.
I always had fun. I played an Eldritch Blaster Warlock, and that was fun with the knockback and stuff like that. Just knocking things all over the map.
If you combo, like really deck out the Eldritch Blast, you don't really need any other attacking things, you know?
My Warlock pretty much double fireballed most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. And then just Eldritch blasted the shit out of things. He also had a bunch of magic stuff that let him do other things, but yeah.
I did a fun combo once, which was a Warlock with an Eldritch Might. Use and then also an Arcane Archer fighter. There was some pretty nasty combos you could do with that, you know.
Can imagine.
I thought about making
Blasting people.
If Ruin ever bites the big one or something like that, I think I'd make an archer character next, but with a fighter.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the Arcane Archer is not as good as the other like fighter classes, you know. But
yeah,
but it's still fairly strong, and if you have a good DM, he will let you boost it a little bit, you know. But yeah,
well, it should be interesting with the new book coming out.
The Tasha's Cauldron,
yeah,
everything, yeah. Seems
does
a fair amount of that stuff is going to be a bit weird.
Does Alex allow that stuff as soon as it's released, or does he have to go through it and stuff first? Usually,
no. He usually sticks with nothing new released, you know.
Barty and Harbard move into the tent. You can hear it's very indistinct. It seems this tent muffles sound coming out of it. You can hear there is some sort of noise coming from within.
Noise as in voices, or noise as in something else than voices?
Give me a perception check at disadvantage, Zhentarim. Yeah, it's difficult to tell. Just noises.
Should we go in?
Step off duty, and I will look to Thea and Minerva and Bruin, like, you know, with like pre-prepared sort of thing, and then I will just dip my head in.
I'll cast Mage Armor on myself.
I will continue my hiding and prepare.
Leonid, do you mayhaps know how to dispel magic?
I can, but I wouldn't want to lead with that.
All right, just in case we might need it.
Yes, of course.
And ask me if I know to spell magic.
Are the rest of you going in with Azurian?
I'm not going in. I'm dipping in, like putting my head inside.
You're either in or out. If you dip your head in, you will go in.
Okay, I'll go in.
It's a magic tent, right? If I can get you. There we go. Pull you in. Anybody else going in with him, or are you all staying out?
Barty will
I'm
enter the tent.
staying out.
Wait.
You're already in here.
Okay, Azurian, join Barty and Harbard in Den of Secrets, please.
Back we go.
I wonder what their souls taste like. Well, I'm sure the tent is finding out. It'll be the Minerva, Tia, and Bruin show. It could not end well.
And beauty.
No, he disappear.
He'll be free.
He won't disappear as soon as Azurian dies, but once the spell runs out, he would never come back.
Azurian pops out of the tent and says, I think it's the eye. You should come in.
Okay.
And then goes back in.
Be careful, guys.
You hear from from behind a small rock. Wait, did it seem normal? Did it seem like...
I will check.
Did he
And
seem
if I
normal,
don't-
Alex?
Give me an insight check, Brune. He seemed like a Zherian.
I will have a look, and if you decide you want to join me, then sure.
Leonid will go in.
But,
He looks at
just
you and
be
says,
careful.
well, if your friend thinks it's your friend, then.
Okay. Come on, Duty, let's go.
going in.
So the rest of you enter the tent, and the creature that is standing at the back looks like this.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Strange double-jointed legs, a large circlet around most of its face, with a single eye in it. Almost humanoid hands, but as it reaches up and gestures towards you, some of you see the second eye within its palm. This almost, it's not vestigial, but it's like almost damaged wing on its right-hand side. The staff, not quite like that one. And it looks at you all and says, thank you.
What exactly is going on here?
I, as Zherian and the others now know, am the Eye.
I preferred the way you looked before.
We have not met.
Oh?
No, I know you, Minervan. No, you have been deceived.
Oh.
This is why I am here. This is why I am in this form. This is why it will be the last time you see me. I have sacrificed much to be here.
How can we help you?
You must forge your own path now. What I can do to help you, to guide you, to protect you is very much over. My purpose was to help you without being seen. The Celestials I work for do not intervene in the works of mortals in the way that those powers of evil will. There are rules, as I have mentioned before. I have broken many of those rules by speaking with you, by helping you, by crossing time and space for some of you. And she looks at Barty. I no longer have the power to do those things. Much has been stripped from me. I've used the last of what I have to be here to talk to you now, but I think you already know you have been deceived.
Fear not.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Those you work against, as I think you have started to realize, they are enemies of all of us. They are alliances with each other only in the most cursory of fashion. They all desire an end to this world as it is now. They all come from the same space which is not ours, and their form of life is anathema to ours, to yours.
I thank
can
you
we
for
stop
your
them?
words and your sacrifice. Bring us these tidings, but before you go and before you waste more time on us, do you know what this Stone of Golorr is and why they deceived us in this manner? What do they wish to get out of it?
Yes, the Stone of Golorr is, and she looks at Leonid and Minervan, as some of you know, it is a powerful artifact. It is the entrapped essence of an aboleth, an ancient aboleth. The aboleth have a form of group mind. They believe themselves immortal because of this. Golorr has never been part of that joined consciousness. It was trapped within the stone and yet continued to accumulate knowledge. What it knows? Many do not know. I do not know. But it is a huge repository of knowledge and power. They desire that knowledge. They desire it to be rejoined with their group consciousness. Who knows what powers, what unearthed items, what arcane wonders it might be able to tell them of. They desire this, and they also desire the Arcanist. You know this already, of course. They tried to get you to find him. They want to destroy him because he is a threat to them.
Would it be foolish for us to go after the Stone of Golorr then, or should we still try and acquire it and
Secure
aid
it.
us?
Unfortunately, like so many things, this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, the stone is lost. It is lost to them as it is lost to you. As such, it remains a possibility they may find it or not. The fact that they have tried to trick you into finding it for them indicates that it is not, to me, one of their primary directives, let's say. Using an expendable resource like your enemy, it ties you up. It weakens whatever opposition is in front of wherever it is held, and ultimately could deliver it for them without any effort on their behalf. It could aid you, it could hinder you, it could aid them. At the moment, sadly, I have no insight into this, but the artifact itself is dangerous. It is still an aboleth, it still has its arrogance. Even more so, many think it is insane from being trapped in this way without the communion of other minds, and as such regards itself as very much a god. The Arcanist is similar. Barty, you know how dangerous this individual is.
Yeah.
But he is dangerous not only to you, but to those who seek him. The Illithids see him as an aberration. He uses arcane magic, yet he is one of their own. They want to destroy him because of that. He does not seek to destroy them. He wants to rejoin them. Of course, this is impossible, but it is a point of leverage you may be able to use against them, but it comes with risks.
It's any of our choices.
Indeed.
I have
like many of my choices. I have made my choice. I have paid my costs. I will pay more for being here. But that is no matter if you do not succeed.
As allies are so scarce, do you have any more of them? We might need greater force to stop the Illithid. Maybe the Gith they spoke of.
The Gith. They would be a force if they could be found, yes. But I feel that may take you more time than you have. Allies, there are allies, potential allies everywhere. Lurien has already engaged the services of some who may be, let's say, unconventional or maybe even unpleasant, and yet allied in our will to keep the multiverse as it is presently. Those who you oppose come from the far realm. It is not like here.
She nods as she had a glimpse at least something.
Well, I have found the answers I want. I don't know about the others of you if you want to ask.
At the moment I can provide more answers than I could before, because at this point I have already broken all the rules that I could. I cannot be more punished than I already will be. So please feel free to ask. If I can answer them, I will.
Wow.
Minerva,
Do you want to join us?
I'm afraid my time on this plane is both limited and final.
Bruin,
Yeah, this is a lot to take in. I
do
mean,
you want to ask how old he is?
No. although I think my friends here have a better understanding of the greater things, although I now kind of seem to realize the importance of everything that they've been doing. And I guess I kind of understand Assyrian being cranky, although I think some of that's just him. That being said, do you know how to unlock the power of the cheese?
The eye looks at you, Bruin.
I rub my temples.
Not important.
All right. Well, it seems our priorities have changed again. I look to Leonid. I'm sorry, friend, but it would seem that we will be needed elsewhere. We can't risk this eye falling into the wrong hands, but so can we not spend time looking for it?
You mean the
You see,
stone?
Leonid is next to you, Minerva, with his notebook out. He's just furiously writing and sketching. And you're just like, yes, this is fascinating.
I put a hand on his book just to, get his attention.
Kind of brushes your hand away. Like, yes.
Although we do not have need of you as a guide, perhaps you could help us in other ways back on the Sword Coast?
Wait, we haven't really decided if we're still going after it.
The eye looks at you, Barty, and says, that is a very pertinent question, Bartimaeus. You must shut the gates. 3 remain. You know where they are.
We managed to shut one of these gates by a guardian of sorts. Will such a thing be present at all the gates, or will we need other tools?
All of the gates are guarded. The Illithids and the Aboleths do not trust each other. Each have their own ways of trying to bring about their end.
So can we have a map or something where they are?
We know where they are.
Or a weapon that's good against them or something.
Would there happen to be teleportation circles nearby the locations of the gates, which I can learn the glyphs of, so we can access them?
The closest you would be able to get to one is that in Chult. You would be able to... There are many teleportation circles there, but not near. The Aboleths and Illithids are both intelligent, scheming, long-lived.
Definitely.
They are both, at least the Illithids, shun any use of magic. So they understand their enemy, and they have no need of teleportation themselves. They are able to transmit themselves through the planes with ease. So they have chosen locations difficult for everyone that is not them. Their weaknesses are bound, though. They are aberrations. They think in different ways. All of their locations are near water. The Aboleth require it. This is not necessarily a weakness, but it is a commonality. You can find them all near or in such things. This, of course, makes it difficult for most to travel there.
We have our ways.
Indeed, you
Look
do.
at how about
Where does this cult of Talander fit in with the Aboleths and Mind Flayers?
A very good question, Lurien. The cults
Tag along.
and the aberrations are the most tenuous of allies. Really, each uses the other with no commonality in the end. They barely have aligned paths for a duration. The Aboleths wish to use the disease of the cult to destroy the lands to make it easier to flood. The cult just see the Illithids and the Aboleths as a way to spread their union of disease. Beyond this, they have no commonalities. This may be possible to exploit.
you think we can
Also,
play
you may
them
look
off against each other?
You may. But also, there are others who are opposed to these kinds of things. As Azurian's patrons, these are not normal allies of, certainly, my employers or myself, but we have certain commonalities. We believe in justice and law, and the preservation of the material plane as it is. Now, your patron, Azurian, wants to dominate that for himself, which is at odds with ours, but it has to be in one piece to be able to do that. So, for a time, these paths are aligned. There are others. They may not necessarily even have aligned paths. They may just be ones who hate those who you combat. Look to these. They may be unpleasant allies at times, but those normal paths, those normal allies you might look to, the Zhentarim, the Illithids, they have infiltrated power like a canker. There are many you cannot trust who you would normally turn to.
Do you have
This
names for us?
individual with you, this Leonid, he is one who is connected at least to a group that is more trustworthy than others. It is more difficult to infiltrate because it is not really an organization in itself. You might ask him for some guidance. Leonid kind of looks up and looks kind of embarrassed. And also slightly put on the spot, kind of flushes a little bit, looks at Minervan.
Tell us about your allies then, Leon.
Well, yes, of course I will. He again, he kind of bows at the eye slightly. Yes, of course. Yes, I'm a harper. We're yes, I can. Please ask your questions of the eye. I can give you whatever you need afterwards, but I think this time is precious. Yes.
Speaking of time, do we actually have a frame of this? Do we speak everything will be lost within a year, 10 years, 100?
The eye looks down at its own palm, and you see the eye in the palm is slightly glassy, almost like it's slightly milky, like cataracty. And it looks up and says, I could have answered that question, maybe, a while ago, but now the future is as uncertain to me as it is to you. All I can say is this. The Illithids, the cult, the Aboleths have been working for at least decades before now. I can't imagine they intend for their plans to last for decades more, though they have the patience.
Very well.
Who is Firemaster?
Firemaster was a young Aboleth. You destroyed him, I believe.
We did.
But, of course, being an Aboleth, they share in a group consciousness, a group memory, if you will. So, you fought Firemaster, yet all Aboleth will know of you through him, in some way at least.
Do you happen to know what happened to Tjerk? Is he still alive somewhere?
This is a difficult question. The Illithids... I do not know whether he is on your plane, but yet I do not sense that he is dead. The answer, as with many things, is uncertain.
So there's still hope.
There is always hope, at least for now, for you.
He smiled. Well, I have all the more reason to keep this world existing.
Lurien, do you have anything you want to ask while you got the chance?
Can't really think of anything.
This should be up your alley, no?
Where do we find more powerful magic stuff to make us awesome?
Sure, why not? That.
I mean, that was kind of my question, but...
There are magical items all over Faerun. Trying to find them, trying to find ones that might help you. There is always a balance between the power you find to make yourself ready and the fight being lost or won. If you wait too long and find the items you need, the battle may already be over. If you do not find what you need before the battle begins, you may not have enough power. It is a constant struggle. I cannot answer where you might find such things, but it may be worth trying to look into it. As with many of these things, knowledge is power.
We were warned not go to the Ocean of Stars from Imposter.
Indeed, that is the seat of their power.
We were getting close and they wanted us to leave, right?
They wish to distract you. They have tried to take you head on and failed.
So
They either
what is
devote
your...
a large amount of power to doing more against you, or they sideline you, and unfortunately they did that well by trying to send you on a quest thousands of miles from where you should be, or where you try to be.
Do you have any
But the more-
means or knowledge how we can go back?
Going back, the seat of their power is the most difficult. There is nothing nearby for you to travel to. Also, Xifu, their city, the Aboleth city, it is not where the gate is located. That is below, in the Pirate Isles, a physical location, but Xifu makes it difficult. It is still connected to the far realm. It distorts the land around it. Reality does not function as elsewhere. It makes it very difficult.
So since we were advised not to go there, and it seems to be their place of power, as you say, where would you suggest us to go next? There are 3 gates left. One is in Schalt, one is at the Ocean of Stars.
Whalebones, right?
The more
Where
peripheral
go?
gates you shut down, the easier it will be to shut down the final one.
So you suggest either Schalt or Whalebones.
There are conflicting messages here. And the eye sort of holds its head and tries to sort of steady itself. I have fragments of memories of futures that could be. It is difficult to see through them all. There are different paths. If you go to the Sea of Falling Stars and confront them now, you may be able to cut the head off the snake immediately, or it may consume you. If you go to the peripheral ones and shut them down, it may take too long, or it may weaken them and give you more time. As all of these things, it depends. The more knowledge you have, though, easier it will be if you walk into a fight without knowing your enemy fully. You should know those aboleths in Xifu are different to those in Faerun.
How are they different?
The ones here on Faerun have been in this world longer. They, in a way, have been changed by it as they change the world around them. The ones in Xifu regard themselves as the true source of abolithic power. They are more aligned with the far realm, more powerful, more diverse. If you go to face them, it would be wise to find out more about them. But shutting down the gate is not the same as confronting the aboleth in Xifu. I would not recommend doing that directly. The gate is really seated at the seat of the slaver's power, and that is controlled more by the Illithids.
Barty just lets out like a low hissing growl.
The Illithids are not the normal mind flayers that you would expect. There is no elder brain controlling them. They have a special union using altered beholders, all reporting to one.
Do you know their name?
These things suck.
It nods at you, Barty. The one in charge of them all is an Illithid, one that would become an elder brain, but it has found a different way, a different path. I do not know what exactly it seeks or how it is doing it, but it forges a new way for the Illithids. All of this is dangerous, of course. They seek to dominate everything. They would dominate the aboleth if they could. And the aboleth, of course, would destroy the Illithids at a moment's notice if they could. There is no loyalty in their union.
Well,
Is there any good news?
the good news is there is still some time.
And
we
you know of
might
this.
find some
That's shitty good
powerful
news.
allies.
Well, what did you think when you signed up with our group, That we were just out running about for fun?
The good news, Bruin, is that you know of this. Before, you could have been consumed by this without even realizing it was happening.
That's a good point.
What I saw before, pestilence will rise across the land. This cult is rising. It appeals to those who are disenfranchised, who are poor, who have nothing. It offers them things they did not have before. Their lot is already nothing. Anything beyond that seems like goodness to them. If you are already living in filth, having a disease which nulls the pain is a bonus.
How did
Those
you
in power
kill
see
them
it as a
too?
way of controlling those. There are many, many pieces to this, many layers. You cannot possibly address them all.
But the important ones.
Of the cult,
Where can we make a difference?
you must focus on the gates.
I think so too.
Each of the gates is located at a crux of power for each of these factions. Shutting them down weakens all of the factions equally.
We also have one more advantage and one more good news to our quest here, and that is Barty. Barty has actually been at a couple of locations we have not.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't mean the whale bones, do you?
I do.
For instance.
How are we getting there?
Teleportation circle and then walking.
Oh.
There is no teleportation circle in the whale bones.
We would teleport to Neverwinter and then take a ship from there, I'm guessing.
Oh, I was afraid you'd say that.
Yeah, you get to do the same boat journey twice, Barty.
No.
Or I say we try and take out one of these minor gates first. If that works well, then we can always focus, if we want to focus on the big head as we discussed, or we can see what else we can learn. But I think we should at least try and stop one more gate before we go to the major.
Yeah.
Then let's
We should stop them all.
decide on which faction to focus first.
We should flip a
You
coin.
also-
One by one.
Barty is indeed an advantage, Zhurian, you are correct, and I have paid a dear price for him and the unfortunate John to be here. I broke many rules in doing that. But you have knowledge of this place, and Kalashar, in this multiverse, does not have the knowledge of you. but he does have a great deal of knowledge. If you could get him, that would give you a great deal.
Do you know where he is?
Barty knows where he is.
Huh? Who?
Kalisha.
Oh,
He is at the whalebones where Barty is not too keen on return. And I understand you. I really do. I mean, it's like getting your tooth pulled for a second time, you know. It's not fun the first time, and it's even less fun the second time.
But it's got to be done, and the sooner the better.
Also, could focus on is the druid, the outcast, Belak.
I look at
Is he
Harbard.
more related towards the Shelton Gate, or
The Eye Nods. Belak fled to Chult under the direction of the Illithids. There he continues his aberrant experiments.
Well,
Chult it is.
The third possibility is to focus on the Illithids.
I'd very like to do that.
The Arcanist would help you in this if you approach him in the right way.
That guy's an ass.
well, he's a mind flayer, so yes.
He seeks to rejoin those that he lost. He is an outcast from his community and seeks to get back to them.
Wow,
If
that
you
sounds
could
familiar.
find a way to convince him that you would assist him in this, then he
Okay.
might help you, for instance, partition one of the core members of the Illithids. And of course, when you have that member, you would be able to pursue your own agenda.
I'd like
Hmm.
to give it a try.
I'm not saying it's not important. All these pieces are equally important, but I must say, dealing with those who ended John in that matter, that is the one that I am the least keen on pursuing at the moment.
It is probably the most dangerous of those.
Can we not do that one first?
But of course, also potentially the most rewarding.
So,
I still
we
want
have
to
some
avenge
decisions to
John.
make, though.
The fourth and final choice that you could make is to go after the Aboleth.
No.
Pass.
Here, I have less to go on. Maybe the Stone of Golorr may be the path there, but maybe Leonid may be more help than I in this.
While we're here, let's get the stone and then choose one of the four. What do you guys think?
I think we should pull your tooth, Barty.
Everybody give me a perception check, please.
Perception.
I don't think Dragonborn actually even get their teeth pulled. So he's like, why would you pull your teeth out?
That's
I imagine you're more like sharks.
I imagine you're kind of right, actually.
Harbard and Azurian, as you're speaking to the eye, you can see that since you've been talking to it, its skin is becoming progressively less blue and more grey. Harbard, you notice a couple of the feathers fall from the wing. It looks like just being here is taking a huge toll on this creature. It's like it's visibly aging in front of you.
well.
Is there more you would ask? It looks at
there
both
are-
of Azurian and Harbard. As I said, our time is short.
There isn't a way into Citadel Rashemen, is there?
There is always a way. One must consider the price one has to pay.
Any hidden entrances we don't know about?
Citadel Rashomar was assaulted by 5,000 troops, guarded by 2,000. They lasted 3 months before they finally gave out. If there were a hidden entrance, I believe it would have been found then.
Well, in that case, is there a boat we can get that can get us to Whalebones and Jolt faster?
Yeah, do you have a
They are
flying ship?
so far from each other.
Jolt, you could use Tia's magic.
If I had the right ingredients, of course.
Of course. The Whalebones, a boat is your, as Barty knows, real option. Unless you find someone who could cast a more powerful spell to take you there directly.
That might
Very
be
well.
prohibitively expensive.
So,
You should also know the wizard, Ajaxu. He regularly spies on you. If you can find a way to protect yourself against that, it would help, because at the moment, these people know your every move.
Well, there is little we can do to protect ourselves from that at this point. So,
But
unless
as
you
know,
can
at
provide
least-
with that help.
At one time, maybe I could. Unfortunately, now, not so much.
Well, I am sort of sated for the answer you have given, but if anyone else have any questions, feel free.
Do you know where I can get the ingredients for the spell to get to Chult?
Neverwinter should have plenty of stores you can go to.
But how do we get there?
The closest
By teleport.
place would be in Mulmar.
She needs stuff to teleport with. How is she going to get to Neverwinter without getting the stuff she needs to teleport with?
Well, there was this other city fairly close to this one, right? To the west.
It's about to tell us.
You can now all see the tent is actually also seeming to be... You're sure it wasn't before, but there seem to be more tears in the tent. You see little flaps of it now blowing in the wind from outside. Dust seems to be encroaching through.
Do you have the power to teleport us?
You can see the eye now seems to be pretty much leaning on its staff.
Do you have time for one more question?
It looks at you and nods.
What's your name?
Eye in the eye.
Good luck.
And with that, it kind of collapses onto its knees, falls forward,
Barty sort of rushes forward to help.
and it and the tent vanish.
Barty just kind of swishes his hands about.
Well, it seems like we're gonna have a fairly interesting evening conversation.
Leonid, you can see he's got like 6 or 7 pieces of parchment. He's kind of cross-referencing and scribbling in. And he's like asking Minerva, can you remember what was the symbol on the staff? I didn't quite catch that one. That was incredible. You have met this creature before?
No, apparently not. I met a creature posing as this one.
They've met her before. I think I know.
Leonid,
Barty's looked at that
you
staff.
wanted to tell us about your allies, right?
Yes, of course. Just let me try and get as much of this down as I can remember just now, and just give me 10 minutes.
So, guys, I think we should totally do the one that requires the boat.
Well, we're not going anywhere unless we get the things Tia needs for her spell.
No, I know. We'll get that. But what I'm saying is we should do the boat. Now, hear me out. The reason behind it, I think it might be fate. I'm not really a big fan of it, but maybe in this case. Do you remember when we were walking out, how I was on Barty's shoulders and I was saying I could be like a pirate? Well, we'll be on boats. I could be in a real crow's nest.
No, Bruin. We should totally go and get the Arcanist. Because we might find another of me.
Oh.
What would happen if you ate the other version of you?
Oh.
Hey, I might become twice as powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go do that one.
Or
Or
you could just be
let's,
best friends.
Here, have a gold.
Or let's have this discussion properly
Don't listen to him.
during
I
the
think we should have this discussion properly.
No, he's probably
He's
right.
too boring.
This one can't be a
I
hasty
know.
decision.
Come on, Bruin. You said you were going to be fun. Don't be
No.
like him.
I can't be fun all
Don't be
the
a
time.
party.
Tia, can you get us to Chult if we have the necessary items?
No.
Then Neverwinter is our course of action, is it not?
I have the knowledge of the glyphs to Balure and to Neverwinter.
So you just
Wow.
need what do you need to get us there?
I believe it's, what did you say, Shalk and some incense?
I need chalks and inks infused with rare gems.
Ah, inks, right.
Okay, so we have to go to that Umbop place or whatever.
Immelmar.
Yeah, that one.
It is to the west of Multan.
Hey, Leo, you want to come along?
So before we decide that, we also need to decide if we're going to try and get this stone or not.
I say we leave it
Leonid
lost.
just ignores you, Bruin. He's just writing and just like,
I say we leave the stone lost and let it stay lost.
Well,
I say
if what
we
the eye says is true, then we are being watched constantly. I will need to prepare a spell to mask our presence to them, but I can only do that if I get to civilization and I buy the necessary stuff.
Again,
And, well,
The ring was also good at that, so we can use that as a... in the meantime.
Hey, Ring, can you hide us from being viewed?
I can hide you.
Can you do it for all of us?
Why would I do it for them?
What if they paid? What if they fed you?
Maybe.
How much would they have to feed
Stone of
you?
Golorr. Eat the Stone of Golorr.
We could feed it the stone, I guess.
That sounds like an awful idea.
Right. So,
But could you
yes,
hide them
yes,
all?
look-
Wait, hold on, Assyrian. This could be really good. How much would it cost for you to hide each one of them?
Oh, like 100 gold each.
Is that like a one-time payment?
Yeah.
Never have to pay it again.
Well, I mean, depends.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! And I put my hand in my pocket.
Let's just go to that town.
They'll have the stuff Minerva needs. They'll have the stuff Tia needs, and yeah,
And we can talk to Leonid on the way.
and we'll get you a sickle for a gold piece or two.
Sure.
All right, so we'll aim for a civilization and try and
So-
procure the items we need. And while we're there, we can also decide our next step.
Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
I guess we'll be staying at the previous hat Harvard made, as we will probably have to go back. Right?
Why don't no? We just keep going, right?
We are bypassing Multan. We are not spending another 3 days there. We're just going to go straight to this other city.
Yeah.
The other city was laying west,
Well-
and we have been walking southwest. So
So we
We should
just
just-
Leonid looks up and says, well, we have to go through Melktan to get to Immelmar.
See?
I think we follow Leonid for this one. I'll still lead the way, but do you have friends there? They said you're part of some faction.
Yeah, sorry?
Do you have friends in that place?
Oh, yes.
Would they help us getting these ingredients we need?
Yes, I'm sure they would. Did it have 3 fingers or 4 on that hand?
split
The
We'll
the
give you all the information you need if you help us.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course I'll help. This is incredible. And yes, we need to. Yes, there are lots of things. Immelmar would be good, actually. Yes, my contact is in Immelmar. But I just, you can see he's just mind blown from this experience and trying to collect all these pieces of paper together.
400 years, and this is your first earth-shattering thing, huh? Come on, snap out of it.
do you have the power to make the spell to mask us right now?
Oh,
Or do you even perhaps have ink and paper or chalk that Thea might need to teleport?
he says, that sort of conjuration magic has never been really my thing. I can do it a short distance, 30 feet or so, but no, I've never really seen the need.
So you don't have magical ink and paper?
Well, not that I have some parchment and some inks, but not of the not for a teleportation circle. No,
Right.
it's expensive, you know.
Very well. It was worth a try anyway. But, let's make way then.
That's all for this instalment of Mann's Model Moments. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. It's the best way of helping me to grow the channel and produce more content like it. With that, I hope you have plenty of modelling moments of your own, and I look forward to welcoming you on the next video.